All right, guys. Sorry the phone call didn't work, but I wanted to push this out to you guys. And so the goal with using BNI Connect, there's so many people that don't have a good grasp of this. So I'm going to hit some of the highlights, and then I want you guys to follow these steps, and then I want you to plug in and just play around and get more familiar with this. So I am on my Mac right now. So if you don't have a Mac, you're going to open your browser, and whether that's Outlook, whether that's Mozilla, whether it's, Internet Explorer. But for Mac, we use Safari. So I'm going to open Safari, and the website you're going to go to is BNI. I'm going to type mine in. It's bniconnectglobal.com. All right? And when we go to bniconnectglobal.com, you're going to put in your username and password into this website. And so I have mine saved. So I'm just going to log my stuff in here, and then I am going to sign in. Now, if you go to the BNI regional site first, this will end up taking you to, if you go to Arizona, this is where we want to go for our personal information. And so once everything loads, you're going to get a message here that says we've made a few changes, yada, yada, yada. Go ahead and close that. And then it's going to take you to your business. So I'm going to move my mouse around here, and this is BNI Connect, right? This is how we determine our generic business. So what you guys need to do first, if you haven't done this, you need to go through and you need to click these tabs and fill out your basic information. So this is what shows up on your BNI profile. And when this shows up on your BNI profile, this is what other people that will search for you will find. And you can click all of these tabs. So you basically need to go through and you need to set up your profile. This is your business information. You can put as little or as much content on there. And then when you're done, you're going to click update. All right, now you're going to see some tabs across the bottom here. I'm going to click on this one here. This one is your personal information tab. So think of it like an address tab. You put a goal in here for your business, your specialty. Then this, all right, is more of your profile. You can upload your picture. You can put an office logo in here, which we have for our office. If you click on the phone, this is back to that initial page, which is your contact info, phone number, email, address, those kinds of things. This one is your settings, and you can show what you want your settings to be. You can show all of your stuff, your testimonials. And again, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time going through this, but you guys need to go through each of these tabs and get your profile set up. Then you got your bio. You can put as little or as much stuff in your bio. So like right here, whoops, my wife is named Desiree Kretsch. Okay, so once you put something in here, you're going to come down to the bottom. You're going to click update, and then it'll update. It'll show saved right here at the bottom. And then you keep going through these tabs. And then the last one, this is your training history. So this is your MSP program. This is your membership success. When I initially did it, your leadership stuff. Now let's go into, I want to show you a couple things. When we go into this page, this is for our chapter. And so you've got network, you've got groups, connections, testimonials, pictures. You've got operations for our chapter. You should be able to see some things here depending on your leadership role. And then you've got reports. All right. You'll be able to see some reports here, maybe not all that I have access to, but if you want to see how you're doing with the chapter, you would click on chapter. It's going to open a sub menu. And then when you go into this sub menu, these are going to be all chapter reports. And if you're not in a leadership position, you may not get to see all of this stuff. But the one thing that you want to focus on is your personal PALMS report. So when you click on your personal PALMS report, this is what we use to track your progress with the group. So when you click, and I'm going to click on mine, your personal PALMS report, and I'm going to do it just for the month of December, just to keep this easy. And when we look on our personal PALMS report, you guys won't have access to everybody, but I'm going to click on me, and I'm going to click go. And now this is going to show us, after it finishes loading, kind of what I've done for the month of December. Now, so when you look at your palms, right, So these are the meetings that I was present at. We didn't have a meeting because of Christmas. I gave a referral in December. I gave 3 referrals outside of the chapter in December to other BNI members. I received 3 referrals. This was another 3 referrals were received. I did not bring a visitor, so I need to step that up. And in the month of December, I had 9 one-to-ones, and then that translated into $770 worth of closed business for me. Now, this was when we launched the chapter, we were getting going, we were getting rolling, and now these one-to-ones are key because this is how this translates to closed business. So now check this out. I'm going to go and I'm going to do January of this year so that you guys can see your activity. Let's do, let me do this. I need to set it for January of next year as the close date. Sorry. Let's do the 19th. Let's do January. Let's do it through the 25th. And now let's change this one to January here of 2019, and we'll do January 1. And so this is going to be my activity for the month of January so far. So this is my personal Palms report. Now, because I got busy and I did some stuff, now when you look at my personal Palms report, you're going to be able to see that I was present on January the 10th. I sent a substitute. But now I started to make more connections with some of you guys within the chapter, and so got busy. And now, so far in January, I gave 10 referrals outside. I received 2 referrals, and I received 1 referral from outside the group, but I did 5 one-to-ones. And remember, our goal is to average at least 1 per week. And then when our one-to-ones, and because of that, so far I've had $6,040 worth of thank you for closed business. So, and then doing my CEUs, you want to make sure you're managing. So this is just one report that you'll be able to use to actually track your own business. Now, I'm going to come back up here. When you click into admin for our chapter, again, some of these tabs may not apply to you if you're not in a leadership role or have experience. And since I've been a past leader in the groups from president to vice president, secretary, treasurer, I'll have access to some of the things with our chapter. If you click here on the regional website, this is going to take you to the BNI website for Arizona. And then this is a website all of you probably have seen. This is going to give you different BNI chapters. And I can't stress this enough. When you go to chapters and you click on this, look at all chapters. You know, I met with a member the other day, and this is the advantage of BNI. There's over 60 chapters here in Arizona, and you need to look for your category if you're looking to grow your business. So I'm just going to pull up one here. Let's look. We meet on Thursday, so I know we can't go to a Thursday meeting at 7:45 a.m., but let's see what's going on in Arrowhead Traditions later on. All right? So now when we look here, we can see their membership here at the top, but we can see their categories right here. So when we look here, we've got automotive, locksmith, residential real estate, we've got accountant, cosmetics, they have a fitness trainer, so Mary wouldn't want to go to this group unless she just wanted to check it out. Landscaper, we don't have. Trades, you know, HVAC we have. Our property management, they have a chiropractor, and actually I know Dr. Dave, he's a good guy. They got a massage therapist there, they've got a hairstylist, but as I'm going through here and I'm looking, they've got a printer, they've got an acupuncturist, garage doors. One thing I don't see is a mobile automotive detailer. So this would be a great group for Gil to visit. They don't have somebody in that industry. He could go to this chapter, he could check it out, he could do his commercial, he could pass out his cards. And this is the advantage of BNI throughout the valley. So those of you who don't have an area-specific business, this is one of the fastest ways to build your network so that you can meet other people who are looking for your services. So I would go through every single chapter, and I would look and see who doesn't have my category if I don't have an area-specific business, and I would get busy, and I would plan to visit 1 to 2 chapters a week. 1 to 2 chapters a week, you will get so much business, you'll be so busy before you know it. All right? So now I'm going to go back to our BNI Connect website, and this is where we were, and I'm going to go to our home screen here. Now when you click on your home screen here, this is going to be your personal info, all right? And I'm transparent about a lot of things in my life, so you guys can see my info here. You're going to come, when you click on this little house, this is going to pull up your personal BNI business. You can click your personal participation report from here. It's going to show your renewal date, when that renewal date is, and then you can access some of those other tabs we talked about up here from your updating your profile. But here's the deal. So here's in the last 12 months from BNI, all right, my business has received a total of almost $55,000 in business in the last 12 months. Because remember, I was in BNI for about 5 years. I met Brent and Jennifer, and then John Kennedy, and I have an attorney that I have a good relationship with in another chapter. So I've got some deep relationships. Brenda Hammer, we've known each other for years, and so they've used my services and I use their services. So that was one of the reasons I decided I wanted to come back and be a part of what you guys were doing. But check out my lifetime, right? Through BNI over the course of my time, I've received, and this is just what's recorded, all right, over $324,000 of thank you for closed business. So if you ask me if BNI works, yeah, I tell you it works. You just got to work the plan. Since I'm new back to BNI, I've gotten 13 referrals. I've given out 235. My thank you for closed business given in the last year is over $7,000, but over the course of the lifetime, I've given $167,000 worth of business. I've given 18 referrals in the last 2 months over the course of my life. Let me just click this off. 539 referrals. I brought 34 visitors over my BNI lifetime. My one-to-ones, I've done 527 of those, my CEUs. So here's where you guys are going to live. So now if you have the BNI app, you can do this from your phone, but there are some things like if you have somebody that you do business with in another chapter, sometimes it's not as easy to do it from your phone, but there are some people that just don't have a phone and they're not really tech savvy, and so they want to spend some time and they want to do it from their desktop. And so this is what your desktop would look like. And so here's what you do. All right. So we're going to submit our thank you for closed business slips right here. So we're going to pull a drop down menu here. This is going to have a roster of all the people that are in our chapter. All right. The only one who's not on this list right now is Ray. We're waiting for him to be added. So let's say that we pick Brent Kastanowski, and let's say Brent's come into my practice and he's gotten a chiropractic adjustment. He paid $45 for that. This is going to be repeat business. Since this is one-to-one, meaning Brent is inside of my office, this is inside of the chapter, this is going to be a tier 1. All right. Now, let me explain. When you put in comments, I'm going to put in here adjustment, right? Every time Brent spends money in my office, that is a new referral. That is a transaction. And that should be recorded as thank you for closed business. Now, I can't stress this enough, guys. If you have somebody that you're doing business with, make sure you're honoring them with recording what they pay you. I've seen more broken relationships because someone spends money with other members and it does not get recorded. Don't let that happen to you. All right? So now let's go back and let's talk about a tier 2. So a tier 2 this is a person Brent referred to me and they spent money in my practice when we talk about a tier 2. So a tier 1 is, all right, Brent is spending money in my office, but then a tier 2 is outside. This is somebody that referred, and they referred somebody. So I'll give you an example. John Kennedy just referred a woman to me, and then he referred her to me. I made a care recommendation to her. She committed to that recommendation, but let's say she refers, all right, somebody. So she would be tier 2. When we record tier 2, this is John referred her. She's outside of our chapter. I'm going to record that business for her. And in this case, she did a 3-month care plan for our office, and that equated to a dollar amount. I know we're talking about Brent, but I'm just going to use numbers here. Let's say it was $1,700. All right? So that's a tier 2, and then we would put who it was for. 3-month care plan. Let's just say your name was Andrea. All right? And then beyond that is a tier 3. And when you have a tier 3, so now let's say Brent had referred Andrea to my office 3 months ago, and let's say that now she's gotten great results, and so let's say Andrea refers her mom, Mary. All right, no offense, Mary. But let's say it's just a common name. All right, let's say that he refers her mom, Mary, and now Mary comes in and she spends a couple of $100. So that becomes a tier 3 referral, tier 3 plus. So this is, lineage and how it grows. So let's say then this is, we're going to go back, it's a tier 3. So let's say Andrea's mom, Mary, and then you put in, the thank you for closed business. So let's say she spent $500, all right, and then we're going to record it that way. So I know there's a lot of you who are unclear of this, and that when it comes to your business, there's things that you've gotten you may not have realized you've gotten that we need to get recorded. So if you need help, reach out to leadership and ask, all right, because this is how you do thank you for closed business. It's tier 1, it's tier 2, and it's tier 3 plus. So you can track this and you can go as deep as you want, and if you're specific and you have good referrals, you'll be able to see these things start to blossom and start to drip down. And this is how your referrals grow and your thank you for closed business grow. Because I get business from people that were in BNI, that left our chapter 3 years ago, and now they're still, the thank you for closed business gets recorded to BNI since they're not in my chapter. But if it's an active member you've got a great relationship with, you'll get a lot of these 3+ tier referrals. So I'm not going to hit submit because this is not legit. So I'm just going to close out. So if you were going to do this, you would click submit. And then if you were going to do another one after this, you would hit submit and new, and it would pop this back up on your screen. So let me close out. We're back to our main page. Now, submit my referral slips. This is another place. Same type of thing, right? We're going to reiterate this. So let's say that I have a referral for Antoinette, and let's say it's my wife, or let's just say, I'll say Desiree. I do all of our stuff, but let's say that I'm going to refer her. And if it's a tier 1, an inside referral, that would be myself, but then a tier 2, outside of the chapter, all right? It's going to be a tier 2. And let's say that, and I need to be specific about this, it is not a referral unless it's a legitimate lead. And it has to have contact information. So if I gave her Antoinette's card, and then I gave her phone number, my wife's phone number, 672-4676, and then I would put comments, wants you to review her taxes, is expecting a call in the next 24 hours. Urgency, urgency, urgency. This is a hot lead. She's expecting a call. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put that it's a hot lead, and then I'm going to submit that. All right, you've got to have contact information. It cannot be, I talked to my sister's cousin, brother's nephew, and they may be looking for a landscape person to come in and do their yard, and I thought of Carl because they have a tree that's overhanging the fence. So maybe if they buy this house in 6 months, it could be a good referral. That does not count, all right? Be specific to be terrific, as they say. So that's how you enter referrals. Pretty straightforward there. We're going to go ahead and we're going to close out of this. And then we're going to come back to our one-to-ones. Now, when we come to our one-to-ones, we've already talked about this. And this has been a moment for me in learning and clarifying, because used to, when I was in BNI, if I did a presentation and I talked to 5 people about chiropractic in the same room, and I talked to them for longer than 20 minutes, and we were specifically talking about my business, well, that was a one-to-one for all of those people. So it was a one-to-one between me and all of those people. However, that's not the case anymore. So with BNI now, since I was out of it for about a year, it's has to be about business exchange, and it's a closed person setting, and it's one-to-one conversation. Now, you can do multiple one-to-ones if you get together, and let's say that myself and John Kennedy and Josh Libby, we specifically got together, we blocked out an hour, and we were all going over our gain sheet, and we were all talking about our businesses, and we were doing kind of round-robin fashion where we basically partnered up for 30 minutes and then rotated, almost like speed dating. Well, that's one way that you can get multiple one-to-ones. But when you do your one-to-one follow-up, whoever enters it, all right, generally the person who initiated it. So let's say I had a one-to-one with Mr. Kennedy. It was initiated by myself. Excuse me. let's say the location, we did it back to health. And our topic of conversation, working on team doc with youth sports teams. I was asking John, because I know he has kids, for a way to get in front of more kids, and we can talk about how that goes. We can put on the date here. Let's say it just happened to be this afternoon. When I hit submit on this, John is part of that one-to-one, so he's going to get credit for it. Now, if he goes online to enter it himself, he'll probably get an alert that says, hey, there's already a one-to-one entered for this specific time. And then that'll give him an indication. So only one person has to enter it, but you got to make sure that one person is entering it. So generally the person who initiates the one-to-one is going to be the one who initiates it, who enters it. But you got to get it done, right? So let's close out of here. And the last thing is our CEUs. Now, when we talk about our CEUs, guys, there's some confusion on this, because if you read SuccessNet, all right, you listen to a BNI CD, you're going to get a CEU for this. When it comes to a podcast, you have to listen to 5 podcasts. You can't just listen to 1 2-minute podcast and get a CEU. If you do 5 podcasts, they're generally about 3 to 4 minutes long. Some of them are a little longer. You're going to get 1 CEU for this. Now, one thing BNI has thrown us a bone is the things I've been pushing out on Wednesday with Kristen is, or Wisdom Wednesday. If you listen to that, they're usually 9 to 10 minutes long. You can get a CEU for that, and you're just going to record that. I would record it in the top slot BNI CD just because of the way it is. Membership Success Program, we get more points for that. Your leadership team training, advanced BNI training. There are workshops and different things, and there's books by Dr. Meisner you can check out, you can read on networking. You get 5 points for those. So if Antoinette, Tim, or Mandy, if you guys want us to record that Wisdom Wednesday in a different spot, please let me know. But when we go into this and we look at this, we're going to close out. Okay, so you got to enter those CEUs. So remember, guys, this is the expectation. If we do a referral once a week, if we do a one-to-one once a week, if we do a CEU once a week, those are going to be the things that track, and those are going to be the things that generate our thank you for closed business. All right, and that is what is going to show up. Now, back from this report, you can review all of your stuff. So if I want to make sure I've got my referrals in, let's go, and I'm going to click on referral slips, and I'm just going to pull them. This was just the last report I pulled. So these are going to be my referrals, all right? So this was, I referred myself to Sean because he came out and did Family Feud for our staff. This was Valerie Miller. I needed some rain gutters, so that was a referral. This was a couple of carpet referrals from BNI members. We're looking at some carpet in our house. But you can see Gil, another attorney, Sean Whittemore. After my one-to-one, I had a couple of referrals for him. So all of your referrals, these are warm market people. So we want to scroll through and we want to make sure we're getting those things entered. So this is a great place for you guys to look and make sure all of your data is getting entered. Now, when you're done with this, the Wednesday night or the Thursday morning before our BNI chapter, right? Because if you're going to be in the drawing to win the prize from the featured speaker, you got to have dibs on doing action items. You got to bring a visitor. You want to give a referral. Those are the qualifications to get in that drawing. So when you look at print your weekly slips, it's going to ask you, do you want to print it as a slip or do you want to print it as a table? Either or, it doesn't matter. I'm going to click on table. I'm going to open this up. And when I look here in this table, it's going to show what I've done in the last week. All right. So as far as referrals, I referred somebody specifically to Gil. I referred myself and my office for pest control to Josh. So we got that set up and rolling. My thank you for closed business. Some to an attorney, some to John Kennedy, some more to Gil, Jennifer Desiak Turner, and then my one-to-ones. This is not accurate based on some information I talked to Phil about the last meeting. Antoinette, Gil, Mary, Leslie, and Timmy, as he likes to be called now, came to our dinner talk, so that's only going to count as one-to-one, so I'll have done a total of 3 in the last week. I got my 1 CEU slip in, all right? So you print this out, fold it up, cut it up, all right? Put it in what looks like to be either a tomato basket or a peach basket, but it's for our drawing. Now let me show you what the slip looks like, because if you prefer, they're just different formats, but they have the same information. This is going to be your referral. So this breaks it down. You can cut these into individual squares. This one's a little bit more condensed, but it'll show your information there. All right? Now, last thing before we hop off of here, your network. All right, so that's how to enter your slips. So when you click on your network, these are all things that are customizable. Everybody that's in our chapter, these are my connections. You can set up specific groups. If you have a power group where we're doing trades, and let's say you're a realtor, you trade with a mortgage person, a title company, you trade with an estimator, your trades, your power group are people that are going to cross-refer. Also on here, when you go to my network, these are events that are going down in our local area. All right? So you've got all of that information here. And then you've got documents here. So you can read through all of these documents, and I'm not going to spend a bunch of time, but these are different BNI reports. Okay, so if I click on here, it's going to open up another page, and what you're going to see, these are all different Word docs. And this is different things. Some of this is leadership stuff, but some of that you're going to have back office documents so that, some of those may be your dance card, so to speak, or your gains, and how to network. The other part of this, when you go to chapter shortcuts, when you click on this, you're going to see not a lot there because I haven't configured anything, but we're going to get most of those reports again, right? So let's go back. I can click on My BNI Business. It's going to take us back to that main screen, and this is where you're going to get the information there on your business. So my goal as the educational coordinator is to try to help you guys. You should have a mentor you're working with, but the goal in doing this is to help educate you and make your life easier. And I promise you guys, it gets easier the more you get engaged. So if you have problems with logging in, get with leadership. If you're having problems with accessing this information, get with leadership. If you're a phone person and you're never on a desktop, but you haven't downloaded the app, get with leadership. Let us train you and show you how to do it, because I'm doing this one specifically on the desktop, and then in a week or so I'll do another one from the phone. All right? So I hope you guys have found this beneficial. I'm going to sign off for now, and I'm going to get this loaded up to YouTube so you guys can access it, and then we can help grow this network and make this the most awesome group in Arizona. All right? Hope you guys are well. Have a great weekend.